Now we get to the section about how to stand with the Imam. ويقف يعني يقف المأمون and the one praying behind stands خلف الإمام, behind the Imam. طيب, now we see in our time many people, they have like setups where they pray in front of the Imam. And in some situations, like in the Haram, the Imam sometimes stands and there's such a crowd and he's on another level and things like this. But regularly, the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and what is correct is followers have to be behind the Imam. And if the sufuf, the lines of the followers are in front of the Imam without any real necessity, meaning there is an absolute hujjah. Meaning, if you design a masjid and you design the people to be in front, then this is your fault. I mean, this is not an acceptable hujjah, right? You cannot say, yeah. But let's say you're making salah in a park and people start joining, and then some of the people on the very far end, maybe somebody gets a little ahead or something. There could be situations like that, and we would deal with those on individual cases. But regularly, you cannot have people in front of the Imam. Everybody has to be behind the Imam. طيب. ويصح, and it is correct معه عن يمينه أو جانبيه, and it is correct to pray with the Imam on his right or out of necessity on his sides. طيب, what are the adillah? There is the hadith of Ubadah ibn Samit radiallahu anhu, where they prayed on the left of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he grabbed them by the hand and he moved them to the right. There is also hadith of Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma and others. And then when others joined, they would pray even on both sides and so on. These ahadith are in Bukhari and Muslim, and there are many. But I want you to understand the Surah Al-Mas'ala. And again, right? I want you to understand the Mas'ala. When these Sahaba went and prayed with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when there was a single Sahabi, when he prayed on the left or behind, Rasulullah would grab them and put them on his right. He did not put them on his right behind. The hadith does not mention to be behind. Rather, yaminihi, to his right immediately. Meaning, if it's just you and the Imam, this is for brothers. Alright, don't want some sister to walk in with some non-mahram Imam and go pray next to him. Even if you're praying with your husband, you should be behind. That is not, that's a different mas'ala, right? But let's say you walk into a masjid, there is the Imam and nobody else. Where do you stand? Can you stand alone as a man behind the Imam? The Imam and just you behind him? No. And that salah is batala. We'll discuss that mas'ala today. Rather, where do you stand? You stand immediately to his right, not a step back. What is from the hadith, from the apparent of the hadith, is just to the right. So your feet will be at the same level as the Imam, but to the right. Some of the A'imma and Madahib, they take it to be a little bit behind. We say salah is correct, but we don't see the adillah for this. Rather, the adillah show that you stand next to the Imam. Tayyib, if a second person comes, what should you do? Is the person, and we'll talk about this, makes an ishara, makes a point, and you move back. And then both of you stand behind the Imam. Tayyib? And then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 until the saf is finished, and then second and third and fourth, sufuf and so on. Tayyib, what if it's really crowded? Small masjid, it's really crowded. The whole masjid is full, the Imam is standing. You could have somebody go and stand to his right, because there's no room in the rest of the masjid. That is permissible. Or if even it got to be that if there's somebody on the right of the Imam and the masjid is all full, people can also stand on the right and the left, but not just the left. Tayyib? But those would be in rare cases where the masjid is that packed and so on. Tayyib. The muallif continues, وَلَا قُدَّامَهُ, and not in front of the Imam. ما المعنى لا؟ يعني معنى هناك لا تصح صلاة. الصلاة باطلة. What is the meaning here? That if you go in front of the Imam, as I mentioned, without any valid udhr, then that salah is invalid. What is the dalil for that? إنه لم ينقل عن النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام ولا فعله أحد من الصحابة. We don't have any dalil where they went after the Imam, nor did we find this from the Sahaba رضي عنهم. Even in places where Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم would move the Sahaba to his right and so on, he did not allow them to pray ahead of the Imam. طيب. ولا عن يسار فقط. And not on يساره, on his left only. What does that mean? If, and we mentioned the hadith of Jabir radiallahu ibn Abbas, as adillah we already got. So if the Imam is there and you only have one person and they pray on the left, that is not permissible. They can either pray on the right, if there is more than one person, then behind. And if the place is packed and they must pray next to the Imam, then you begin with the right, and then after that if somebody stands on the left, that is permissible. But not only on the left.